it's actually gun control legislation. They're trying to prevent people who have drug convictions from restoring their Second Amendment rights. So they're in court saying, look, drugs are bad, we don't want these people to have the rights. Right. So in that legal filing, the Biden administration admits that marijuana causes suicide, depression, anxiety, all of these terrible things, and they want that's their pitch to African Americans, is we want to have you be more suicidal, more depressed. And I get the short-term politics of it, but marijuana legalization is just bad policy, and it's just obvious pandering.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with commentary editor Conn Carroll. Conn, Vice President Kamala Harris is struggling with men of all races, but also in particular black men, which is normally a group where Democrats run the table. And one of her tactics to try to stop that slide is to pitch legalizing marijuana. Is that smart politics?
It might be smart politics. Excuse me, I've been smoking too much marijuana.
That's
not
it.
true, not true. Do have a little throat tickle though. But it may be smart politics. Marijuana legalization has been trending up, but it's becoming increasingly obvious that it's bad policy. So recently the New York Times itself had a study of different states that have recently legalized marijuana, and they found that it was very harmful to those populations. You have the Biden administration itself and a separate filing in federal court. This is it's actually gun control legislation. They're trying to prevent people who have drug convictions from restoring their Second Amendment rights. So they're in court saying, look, drugs are bad, we don't want these people to have the rights. Right. So in that legal filing, the Biden administration admits that marijuana causes suicide, depression, anxiety, all of these terrible things, and they want that's their pitch to African Americans, is we want to have you be more suicidal, more depressed. And I get the short-term politics of it, but marijuana legalization is just bad policy, and it's just obvious pandering.
Is Harris doing enough otherwise to reach out to men as a category? They sort of have tried to roll out Tim Walz as like some sort of avid hunter dad figure to appeal to men. Is that working, or is she making things worse?
It's clearly not working. I mean, I think they should bring back the Planned Parenthood vasectomy van. I thought that was really popular at the Chicago
yeah, men love that.
Men love vasectomies. She should do a tour with the vasectomy van. I think that'd be at least that would be authentic, right? Because what you have now with Tim Walz out there trying to shoot a shotgun that he clearly can't load, clearly doesn't know how to handle, it just looks fake. And same her saying that she owns a Glock and she fires it. I mean, come on, no one believes you. So at least the vasectomy van would be honest. Like, she wants her husband Doug to get a vasectomy. She wants us all to get vasectomies. At least she'd be telling men what she honestly thinks about them.
Columbus Day was this past week, or to Kamala Harris, it was Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yes.
And while it's sort of a perennial culture war thing, like I bought a pre-filled calendar that had Indigenous Peoples Day on instead of Columbus Day. This is like a pre-existing battle. But the Washington Examiner did an editorial about how it's actually pretty revealing the way Kamala Harris speaks about Columbus Day.
So it wasn't just Kamala Harris speaking about Columbus Day, or Indigenous Peoples Day, you're right, I'm sorry.
Offensive.
It was the contrast with that and what J.D. Vance was talking about on the same day. Mm-hmm. So you had Kamala Harris, who in past years has talked about Indigenous Peoples Day as a time to look back at all the evils done by America and all the land we stole and all the violence we caused, all the disease we spread. Now, first of all, that narrative is just false. Not because the European settlers that came to the New World were saints and angels. They weren't. They were just equally as morally culpable as the Native Americans they found. The Native Americans that were here in North America were equally as violent, equally as rapacious, stole land all the time. Mm-hmm. And what happened is the European settlers came in and conquered them. But what happened that Vance celebrated on Monday was actually something that happened on Sunday that was truly historic and amazing, which was Elon Musk's SpaceX catching a booster rocket that had orbited the Earth twice before landing back in Texas. And he talked about what a great, kind of explorer entrepreneurial spirit that is. And that is what we used to celebrate Columbus Day for. Mm-hmm. That entrepreneurial explorer spirit of coming to the new world, finding new lands. It's what inspired Lewis and Clark to go across the country. It's what inspired the Transcontinental Railroad. It's what inspired us to first send them into the moon. It's a spirit that we've lost. And the Democratic Party will never find again, because the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris, all they want to do is look to the past at recriminations and decide who's guilty, who's who's wrong, who needs to be silenced, how they should be paced to make up for these past wrongs. Well, the Republican Party is looking forward, up to the skies. What can we do next? How can we make the world, humanity, better? And I think that's really a much better, more positive message.
Well, Conn, thank you so much for being here today, despite sounding
Terrible. It's terrible. I sound terrible.
Letting everybody down. You can get more writing from Conn and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.